My mother forced me to play hide and seek every night at 9. Tonight, it wasn't a game. Every night at 9, my mother made me play hide and seek. She'd hug me tightly before we left, but her grip felt more like a warning than affection. We played in the old park near our house, just the two of us. I thought it was normal. Other families didn't do it, but I never questioned why we did. I liked the park at night, the cool air, the towering trees. It felt peaceful, but I should have known something was wrong. She'd count down from 50, giving me time to hide. I'd run as far as I could, pressing myself against the cold earth behind trees or bushes, but no matter where I hid, my mother always found me. She'd walk past my hiding spot, calling out softly, "Clara, come out. It's cold. Let's go home." At first, I'd believe her and step out, only to be met with her fury. "I told you not to listen to me," she'd hiss, gripping my arm so tightly it hurt. After that, I learned to stay hidden, no matter what she said. One night, everything changed. My father, who I'd only seen a handful of times, came home. I found them talking in hushed, tense voices. My mother's face was pale, her eyes wide with fear. I crept closer, but as soon as they noticed me, the conversation stopped. My father turned and smiled at me. It was a smile that made my skin crawl. Later that night, my mother whispered to me, "Don't come out, no matter what." I thought we'd skip our nightly game, but instead, she suggested a trip to the park. My father grinned, agreeing far too eagerly. Before we left, my mother gave me a look I'll never forget. It wasn't love, it was fear. I knew to wear my darkest clothes. At the park, my mother pointed at a tree. "I think I saw a squirrel, Clara. Go check it out." I didn't hesitate. I ran, but instead of stopping at the tree, I darted deeper into the woods, hiding in a thick bush. My heart pounded as I listened. Minutes later, I heard them calling me. "Clara, sweetheart, come out." My father's voice echoed through the trees. My mother's voice followed, softer, more desperate. "Clara, please, it's time to go home." But I stayed still, remembering her warning. Then their voices changed. "Clara, stop this nonsense," my father snapped. "You know we'll find you." I clenched my teeth, fighting the urge to run. Hours passed. The woods grew silent, but then I heard it, a stick snapping behind me. My blood ran cold. My mother's voice, guttural and wrong, whispered, "I know you're here, Clara. You can't hide forever." She described in chilling detail what she'd do when she found me. "I'll peel your skin like cheese. Start with your arms. You'll scream, but that's okay." I liked the sound. Her voice was getting closer. I stayed frozen, even as her shadow passed just feet from my hiding spot. "I'll suck on your eyeballs, Clara. They're nice and squishy." Her voice drifted away, but I didn't move. Not all night. It wasn't until the sun rose and I heard other children in the park that I finally stood. A boy saw me and screamed. I must have looked like a ghost. I stumbled home, expecting the worst. But when I walked in, my father was gone, and my mother was waiting.